will have a single SSD, and latest model server have two SSDs. This is a hybrid server, SSD plus hard disk. So one SSD, four hard disk, one SSD, four hard disk, one SSD, four hard disk. Likewise, four node A, node B, node C, node D. This is a block. Within a block, I have four nodes. Okay.
Okay. So
Kind of.
these are super micro servers, right?
Yeah, right. So
Okay.
next, if you see at the back end, this is how it looks. Node 1, Node 2, Node 3, Node 4, the centralized power supply and cooling system is here. If you want to
Got it.
remove the nodes from the block, you can remove. This is a single block with four nodes.
Got it.
Okay. If you want, it is not mandatory that you need to connect all four nodes. It's not the case. It is not a mandatory one. It's an optional. You can have one server as well, one node as well within the block connected. But if you remove the block, if you remove the node from the block, the node will not get power supply, because if you see any of the node, it has no power supply slot because the power supply is here. So to get the power supply, this node has to be connected to this block.
So it
Okay.
has backplane.
Yeah, right.
And these are 2U server or 4U server.
Sorry.
These are 2U server or 4U server.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not able to hear you properly.
These are 2U server or 4U
Oh,
server.
yeah, 2U servers. Yes. Yeah,
2U
2U.
servers.
Yeah. Okay. So now, if you go back here, so this is a node. Everything is dedicated. Okay. Node is not going to share anything except power supply and cooling system. Node will have a dedicated storage. If you see this, every node we have a dedicated storage here. Hence, no problem about the storage. A node is not going to share the CPU or memory. Node is not going to share the network connectivity. If you go to Cisco will have a different concept. IO module, they can share it or they can get a dedicated pinning. That concept is totally different. Here we are only focusing on Nutanix brand. Nutanix is using the super micro servers, rebrand and use it. Hence, we are focusing only on the Nutanix hardware. Don't bring HP or Cisco here. That works different way. But if it is a chassis, we call it as a block only. Okay. If it is a Cisco chassis, we call them a block. But they have a requirement like in a Cisco server, you can have a full width, means you can have maximum 4 servers. If it is a half width, means you can maximum have 8 servers. But that's Cisco limitation because we are not managing the hardware. But we are only focusing here Nutanix server. Nutanix, you can have 4 nodes within a block. Okay. There are certain models which will have a one node, one block concept, but what I'm discussing now is one block, 4 nodes. Every node will have a dedicated ports, dedicated port for connecting the monitor and USB, but only what is missing, only the power supply and cooling system, nothing else. Okay, nothing else, nothing is going to be shared except power supply and cooling system. Okay, so in this scenario, I have 4 nodes in this block, and then next I purchased another block, but with one node. For an example, you are running 4 node cluster and you are planning to expand one node additionally. So you want to convert from 4 node to 5 node. But if you buy just a node, you don't have a slot here because by having a node, you can't do anything because this node cannot be connected to the power supply directly. It has to be connected to the block. So you purchased one block and one node. Remaining slot, you leave it empty. So now this node will get a power supply from here. But later, when you are going for further expansion, you can go and buy just a node because you already have a free slots here. Just buy a node and connect it here. The node will automatically get a power supply from here. So later, if I'm going for another node expansion, then I'll connect it and place it here. So then another expansion, I'll connect it here. Then for the last expansion, I can do it here. If after this, if I need further expansion, I have to go and purchase a block, and then based on the number of nodes, I can purchase the nodes. Is it clear?
Is it for you is like completely you have to take the block, I mean this node and replace it, or everything is detachable? It is integrated.
No, if you want to, if you have a problem with one node, then you have to replace only one node. No need to replace the entire block. If there is a problem with,
But one
uh,
node, I mean, suppose network card or something like that.
yeah, that one node
Individual.
needs to be fixed, not entire block, because the block has nothing to do with the networking and other stuff. Because the block networking, CPU, memory, storage controller, everything is separate. Individual node will own it. So if there is any problem of the CPU, memory, storage controller, or SSD or hard disk, or at the network interface level, then that node needs to be fixed or replaced.
My
Okay.
question is it individual items can be replaced, or you need to entire node in the your marking entire node need to be replaced?
Yes.
That's what I'm telling. If anything, like let's take in this node, if there is a network problem, so the network card needs to be replaced. Like if you're using,
Okay.
MLOM based NIC card, okay, then motherboard needs to be replaced, correct? And
Yeah.
most of the cases they go for node replacement. So MLOM replacement generally, maybe I don't know, but in my experience, I see that some of the cases the vendor they replace the entire node. But if there is a SSD problem or
Entire.
CPU problem, then they probably go for the particular component. Not necessary that every issue doesn't require a complete replacement of node.
Memory and CPU
No,
can be replaced.
SSDs and hard disks are can be replaced individually, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
CPU, memory,
See,
and
if you
hard disk
talk
can be
about
replaced.
additional cards like PCI card, like MLOM, you have it. MLOM comes with motherboard, and so replacing the motherboard is going to be a challenging. So they go for node replacement. But if you talk about PCI cards, the PCI card can be easily replaced. In that case, they go for a PCI card replacement.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, got it, Paul. Thank you.
Okay. So anybody else?
Good.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, this is a difference between node and block, and you see that as I said, node will have a dedicated component. I mean, everything is dedicated. So then there is a single partition here to differentiate node 1, node 2, node 3, and node 4. And every node have a dedicated storage in the front end. At the back end, you will be seeing this this look. So all the cables connected, everything will be at the back end. So CPU, storage card, if there is any PCI card, memory, all that, dedicated for every server. So every server you will be seeing that details. Okay. So it's a to you. Okay. And this is a single node, single block. Okay. So far we discussed single block, 4 nodes, but this is single block, single node. Okay. It has 2 power supply, 2 cooling system. And if you see here, there is a single, interfaces because this is a single server. So here I can install 4 AHV, I can install 4 CVM, but here it will be a single AHV, single CVM.
So in Nutanix, there is a concept like for each node, you have to install one single HV and one single AS, correct?
Yeah, every node will have a single hypervisor and CVM created. If you have 4 nodes, 4 CVMs, 4 hypervisor. If you have 10 nodes, 10 CVMs.
And
Every node,
cookies.
there should be a CVM running.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the difference, if you go for, a block, it is 2U. And if you go for single node, it is 1U. And you may also have a 2Us, but, but generally the 2Us for the, the blocks with the 4 nodes. Okay. And this is the front look of that single node, single block, single node. There should be 2 SSDs and 2 hard disks. This is one model. And nowadays, you have a lot of slots in the front end. You can go maximum, maximum. I think 12. Some servers will have a 24 disk supported. It depends on the model you purchase. Okay. This is another look of the server, and this is again one node, one block. front you have 4 disks, 2 SSD and 2 hard disks. This is a hybrid model, and this is a Gen 5 node, 3175 Gen 5 node, and this is the back look. This is a front look. Okay. Any question on this node block?
So when you talk about SSD and hard drive, right? So is that SSD is reserved or dedicated for the OS installation, or the hard drive is for storage?
This is the first two SSD has a different purpose. So, we discussed this the last week session where I detailedly explained about each and every thing. We talked about RAID, and RAID has a different partition. What is the use for each and every partition? And then we also have SD A, B, C, D. What is the purpose of D? So that's a larger concept. We spent a lot of time on that. So I would request you to go back and see the recording. But to give a straight answer, that's where CVM gets installed. Okay. But if you want to talk about the architecture of first two SSD, then no, I'll recommend you to go and watch the video. Okay. Then maybe if you have any question, just reach out to me. I'll explain. Because if I talk about that, that will take at least 45 minutes of time.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Now, this is the cluster example. Simple look how cluster looks. Okay. You have a storage. If it is a hybrid, this is how it looks. You have SSD and hard disk, and top of that you have controller. Then you have a hypervisor installed, and top you have VMs created. Okay. But as I said, every node will have a CVM, dedicated CVM. What is the role of this CVM? Anybody know?
CVM will virtualize or create a shared storage, the local storage as a shared storage. That is what I know.
Okay, virtualization is done by hypervisor.
So
Okay.
it's actually to manage that particular node individually.
To manage the node individually, that's almost right. And but still, I'm expecting something better.
Yeah, the individual hard disks which are presented at the node level, they all will be clubbed into a bigger pool, and it's the CVM who gonna talk the component using which this whole operation will take place at the node level.
That's a cluster level you're talking, like it creates a single pool that's already written here. But what is the if I just break just one node, what this CVM does on that particular node? Any idea?
CVM manages all resources on one node. Everything, the hypervisor.
That's pretty much close. Like the previously someone said, right? It's almost pretty much same. I mean, pretty close to the answer. So HCI is a storage technology. So CVM is something to manage the storage, because we are replacing, or we can tell them that it is something like the next level of SAN storage. Like we have DAS, we have SAN, then we move into HCI. It's a storage. So controller VM controls everything on this node. Okay, but it is this major responsibility of the CVM is storage. Okay, so let me quickly take Paint whiteboard to talk about how the general virtualization looks. Okay, can you see my Paint screen?
Yeah.
Okay.